The haunting aisle of Walmart. In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled in the heart of Appalachia, there stood a Walmart like no other. It was a sprawling retail behemoth that seemed to swallow the horizon. Most shoppers saw it as a convenient haven for their everyday needs, but beneath its fluorescent lights and crowded aisles lay a chilling secret. Legend had it that the Walmart was built on the grounds of an ancient burial site, cursed by restless spirits. The townsfolk whispered about strange occurrences within its walls, unexplained cold spots, mysterious whispers, and eerie shadows that darted just out of sight. Yet, the allure of low prices and one-stop shopping kept the townspeople returning, despite their unease. One fateful night, as a heavy storm raged outside, a security guard named Tim patrolled the empty store. He was a burly man with a reputation for bravery, but even he couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. As he turned a corner into the electronics section, the TVs all blared to life, displaying a distorted image of his own terrified face. Tim stumbled backward, his heart racing. He had heard stories about the ghostly occurrences, but this was something else entirely. Desperate for answers, he pulled out his flashlight and ventured deeper into the store, guided only by the flickering overhead lights and the distant echoes of his own footsteps. In the toy aisle, he found himself drawn to a row of dolls. Their vacant eyes seemed to follow him, and their porcelain faces twisted into malevolent smiles. Tim's unease grew as he noticed one doll, in particular, an old-fashioned Victorian doll dressed in tattered lace. It was propped up on a shelf, seemingly untouched for years. He couldn't resist the urge to reach out and touch it, and as he did, a voice, soft as a whisper, emanated from the doll's painted lips. "Help me," it pleaded. Frozen with terror, Tim stared at the doll, which suddenly sprang to life, its porcelain limbs jerking in unnatural ways. It floated towards him, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. Tim bolted, racing through the aisles as the doll pursued him, chanting eerie incantations. As he reached the grocery section, the store's alarm system blared to life, its shrill noise echoing through the empty store. In his panic, Tim failed to notice that the store's exits were now sealed shut. The walls seemed to close in on him, and the shelves of canned goods toppled like dominoes, blocking his path. Frantic and trapped, Tim made his way to the store's pharmacy. There, he found an old pharmacist's journal that revealed the dark history of the Walmart. It was built on land once inhabited by a Native American tribe, and the construction had desecrated their sacred burial grounds. The tribe had cursed the land, vowing revenge on those who dared to tread upon it. With newfound determination, Tim sought a way to appease the vengeful spirits. He gathered items from the pharmacy shelves, sage, tobacco, and sacred herbs, and created an offering. As he lit the bundle, smoke filled the air, and a sudden calm descended upon the store. The ghostly apparitions faded, and the doll's malevolence subsided. The store's alarms fell silent, and the walls no longer closed in. Tim, weary but victorious, stepped outside into the stormy night, leaving the Walmart's haunted aisles behind. The townspeople never fully understood what happened that night, but they could feel the change in the air. The Walmart remained open, but the eerie incident ceased. Tim had confronted the curse head-on, saving the town from the malevolent spirits that had haunted the store. To this day, the legend of the haunted Walmart persists, a chilling tale shared by the residents of Willowbrook, a reminder that even in the most mundane of places, the supernatural may lurk just around the corner.
The midnight murders at Walmart. It was a cold, moonless night when the small town of Willowville became the setting for a series of gruesome murders that would forever haunt the aisles of the local Walmart. The town had never seen such terror, and the twisted events that unfolded that night would be etched into their memories forever. Walmart was an island of artificial light in the otherwise pitch-black darkness of Willowville. Sarah, a young cashier, watched the minutes drag by on the clock as her late-night shift dragged on. The store was eerily empty, except for a handful of night owls wandering through the vast aisles. She shivered, feeling a chill that had nothing to do with the store's temperature. As the minutes turned to hours, A sense of unease settled over the store. Shoppers whispered of strange shadows darting between the shelves and phantom footsteps echoing down empty corridors. Sarah tried to dismiss these tales as overactive imaginations, but deep down, she knew something was amiss. Then, the lights flickered, and the store plunged into momentary darkness. Panic spread like wildfire among the shoppers. When the lights returned, Sarah could see the terror in their eyes. But it wasn't just fear. It was something darker, more sinister. A guttural scream cut through the air, and Sarah turned to see a horrified woman pointing towards the freezer section. The glass doors of the freezer were splattered with crimson, and inside, a Walmart employee lay lifeless, their throat brutally slashed. Pandemonium erupted as shoppers rushed to the exit, leaving behind their abandoned carts and forgotten purchases. Sarah's trembling hands reached for the store's phone to dial 911, but a sinister voice stopped her. "Leave," it whispered, and the word seemed to hang in the air like a malevolent curse. Sarah turned slowly, her heart pounding in her chest, and there, standing in the shadows, was a figure cloaked in darkness. The stranger's face was obscured by a hood, and all that could be seen were their gleaming, malevolent eyes. A second murder followed shortly after. This time in the electronics section, the store's security cameras captured chilling footage of a hooded figure stalking their victim, a stock boy who had been restocking the shelves with DVDs. The figure's movements were unnatural, their steps soundless as they crept up behind their prey. Again, the throat was slashed, and the store was thrown into chaos. The police arrived, but the hooded murderer had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a trail of horror and blood. Hours turned into a nightmarish eternity as the killings continued. The store became a labyrinth of death, with terrified survivors huddled together in fear. The police were baffled, unable to explain the madness that had taken hold of Walmart. Then, as dawn's first light broke over the horizon, the killings stopped. The hooded murderer had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a store turned into a gruesome crime scene. In the weeks that followed, Willowville was forever changed. Walmart, once a symbol of convenience, had become a place of unspeakable horror. The store was closed indefinitely, and the town was left to grapple with the traumatic memories of that fateful night. The midnight murders at Walmart would forever remain a chilling legend in Willowville, a reminder that even the most ordinary places could become the setting for unimaginable terror. The tragic tale of Willowbrook Walmart. In the heart of Willowbrook, a tranquil town nestled beneath the shadows of the Appalachian Mountains, stood a Walmart unlike any other. By day, it was a bustling haven for shoppers seeking everyday essentials, but by night, it concealed a haunting secret that would forever shroud its aisles in sorrow. The town's residents whispered of inexplicable occurrences within the Walmart's cavernous interior, strange, chilling drafts, eerie echoes of laughter, and glimpses of a spectral figure lurking in the corners of their vision. But the convenience of the megastore kept them returning, even if the unease clung to their every step. One fateful night, a bitter, biting wind howled through Willowbrook, bringing with it an air of foreboding. The young girl at the center of our tale was Lily, a curious and adventurous soul, just 10 years old. She was a bright-eyed, pigtailed cherub, whose laughter was as infectious as her boundless curiosity was insatiable. Lily's parents, Mark and Emily, were regular patrons of Willowbrook Walmart, often visiting the store after dinner to pick up groceries. On that ill-fated night, they decided to bring Lily along, hoping to satisfy her craving for candy. The store's automatic doors slid open, and they stepped into the vast retail expanse. Lily's eyes widened with wonder as she gazed upon the towering shelves, filled with an array of products that seemed to stretch to the heavens. She scampered away from her parents, her little heart racing with excitement, in pursuit of the candy aisle. As Lily roamed the aisles, her laughter echoed through the empty store, causing a shiver to crawl down the spines of those few shoppers present. Mark and Emily, preoccupied with their shopping list, paid little attention to their daughter's wandering. It was in the toy aisle that Lily's laughter was suddenly silenced. Her parents would later recount how they turned to see their daughter. A look of terror etched upon her face as she pointed at an old, weathered doll. Its porcelain features cracked and discolored. The doll was a relic from another era, dressed in a tattered, lace-trimmed gown. It stood on a shelf, seemingly untouched by time. As Lily approached, she reached out to touch it, but a soft, ghostly voice emanated from the doll's fragile lips. "Help me," it whispered, the words barely audible. Startled, Lily staggered back, her eyes fixed on the doll if it seemed to come to life before her. Its porcelain limbs moved with eerie fluidity, and it floated towards her, its eyes gleaming with an unsettling, malevolent light. Lily's scream pierced the air, sending her parents rushing to her side. They arrived just in time to see the doll's porcelain hands wrap around their daughter's throat. Inexplicably, the doll had transformed into a sinister entity, its grip tightening with unnatural strength. Desperation overtook Mark and Emily as they struggled to free Lily from the doll's grasp. Shoppers nearby rushed to their aid, but their combined efforts proved futile. Lily's lifeless body fell to the floor, her eyes vacant, her innocent spirit extinguished. Panic swept through the Walmart as horrified shoppers bore witness to the unimaginable tragedy. Mark and Emily, grief-stricken and inconsolable, cradled their daughter's lifeless form. The doll, once a relic, now lay still, its malevolence extinguished with Lily's final breath. The authorities arrived swiftly, but they could offer no explanation for the inexplicable. Willowbrook Walmart was shuttered indefinitely, its shelves and aisles forever tainted by the memory of the tragic night when a young girl's life was claimed by the malevolent force that lurked within its walls. Lily's memory lived on in the hearts of the townsfolk, a reminder that even in the most ordinary of places, darkness could take hold and innocence could be lost. The once beloved Walmart became a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the lingering presence of the supernatural in the unlikeliest of places.